Every driver on track, they know their limits. They know how to like avoid crashes because like to fix a car, sometimes you cannot get away with it and you have to pay a lot of money. Even if it includes insurance, it costs a lot of money to fix a car. So I had actually a few crashes, like really bad ones, but I came out in one
no
piece.
injuries, nothing.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Just emotionally because of the car, you're just like, oh
man,
that
like
hurt.
big time.
Because you had a car, right?
Mm-hmm.
And recently.
Yeah, recently I had a really bad crash and the car was completely gone.
Khalas.
Like I needed a new car and it was really bad. Yeah.
That must have been heartbreaking for you.
I was crying and my dad's like, he thought I had like an issue or an injury or something.
What's wrong with you?
Like, no, I need a new
car.
car.
The car.
It's gone. I'm done for the championship.
Meet me tomorrow for the memorial service for the car. We're gonna just put the halo in the grass.
Yeah, and I was like, please, I really want to race. He's like, you want to race? That's fine. I'll get a new car for you. Like
nice.
Like, not buy one, but like rent one from Italy. They brought one.
Guys, welcome to another episode of Jibber with Jabber. Today I am joined by Amna Al Qubaisi, the fastest woman in the world. What? Is that not right? Okay, the fastest Arab woman in the world.
Okay, maybe.
Are you actually a fast runner?
Runner?
Yeah.
I used to be when I was like...
What do you used to be? How do you stop being fast?
12.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you're the first Emirati F3 driver in the world.
Yeah.
And you're also going to be the first Emirati F1 driver in the world.
If that happens.
By the time this episode comes out. I'm just going to test how fast you actually are if you could do it. It's out on Monday, so you've got a big job ahead of you.
Oh, I wish.
You ready? You have a week. Are you ready to hit
that
F1 in a week? Yeah. I mean, you seem like somebody who's up for challenges and you seem like somebody who isn't going to turn down a challenge.
I mean, I would take it, but
it's a pretty big challenge, right?
I need the money.
Yeah. I can open these. There's nothing, just butterflies are going to fly. I can't be a sponsor. So one thing I want to talk about, which makes me just realize how cool your dad is. You told me when we were talking on WhatsApp before, I was like, get here as fast as you can. And you were like, my dad put a speed camera in the car to see how fast I'm going.
Yeah, he has that speed monitor. So like he checks. And I never knew about it till like one time he called and he's like, slow down.
And that's how you found out?
Yeah, I didn't know about it.
So he literally has an app on his phone that just tells him, hey, she's going way too fast right now.
Yeah, he can track the speed and like where I was speeding.
Can he slow it down? Maybe if it was a Tesla, he'd be like, no. Just bring the speed down. And you'd be like, what's going on here?
No. He's like, slow down.
Yeah, I think that's hilarious. I think that's very cool to be able to do that. Maybe he's put something in the mics here. It's just like, no, you're asking way too many questions. Just shut it down straight away. So what got you into karting? Because I know you started with, all drivers start off with karting, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was it something that you wanted to do? Or was it just like your dad was like, hey, let's just try this?
No, I actually wanted to do it. Like, I saw my dad racing and I thought it was very unique. Especially here in the Middle East, ballet, gymnastics, dance, they were very common. And I was doing gymnastics as well. So I was like, I wanted to try something different. And I looked up to him a lot. So he was like, the first step is karting. So he trained me in our home track. And from there, I got in an academy. They chose me to be a part of it. And then, from there, they just started to build me.
So you had a home track for karting?
We started off like in our compound just to know the basics, the pedal, the brake, so I wouldn't get scared. And then we went to a kart track.
And how old were you at that time?
I was 13, 14.
Wow. And your dad's also a race driver as well. I mean, everyone is apparently in your family mostly.
The whole family got into it actually.
Okay, but he was doing it before you got into it?
Yes.
And what level does he race at?
He does in the beginning he did
Porsche.
Okay. He did Porsche, and from there, he went into GT. He did endurance racing, so more of the GT stuff. He did Formula 3 with us, me and my sister, in the championship, and he's really quick. So he's really good. Yeah.
Did there ever come a moment when you realized that I'm faster than you?
We had
you have to say it out
a
loud.
competition. And he would like take points, like I beat you, and I'm
Yeah.
like, come on, I stopped racing. I had to retire.
Really?
I had a problem with my car.
Is he really competitive when it comes
Yeah,
to
he's
that kind of
very
stuff?
competitive. Yeah, and that's what I like about it, because it actually like makes it more fun around us. We're like competitive and not fighting or anything. Yeah, so it's like it's a fun thing, better than I expected.
Yeah, I mean that's like a really cool thing to do. When did you realize that you actually had a talent in it? That you were like, actually, hold on a minute, I'm actually really good at this.
Yeah, I was in karting when we went to Europe the second time. I was going in a track I've never been to before, and I went straight into the race weekend, and I was actually like fighting for the top 10. So, and I saw this thing where like the top 8, if you finish 8th position, you would start first, and I was actually fighting for the 8th. Blah. I'm stuttering
No,
now.
that's fine.
Fighting for the 8th position.
Okay.
But yeah, and then I got pushed out.
But wait, how does start finishing at 8th make you start first?
It's
You
like
have to
they
forget my
always do
ignorance
like,
with all that stuff.
yeah, they do like reverse grid to make it
Okay.
more competitive. So they would
Oh,
reverse
so they put the
top
person who's the
8.
fastest at the back.
Yes, if you finish first, you'll start at 8th.
Oh wow, is that everywhere?
Yeah, it's,
Or just in karting?
Yeah, it's everywhere. It's also in Formula 3. Like depending on the championship, they would do reverse for top 10. So the person that finishes in 10th position would go first. The person in 9th goes second. So like the whole thing is reversed.
But I mean, is that really fair considering? I mean, I understand it way younger, but when you start to get to F3, F4, F3, F2, everyone's pretty much the same-ish level, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like somebody's just like really, really, really good, and then the person who comes in 10th is like me driving just like Mario Kart, throwing bananas and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like usually like the top 10 or the whole grid, usually they're always very close within timing, and they're all quick. So they just want to make it more challenging and more entertaining for the championship, not like in 3 races somebody already won the whole championship. So they want to make it more competitive.
Here's a random question, and I don't know what your answer will be. Does it anger you when people say, so for a girl, or as a girl, blah, 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 finish the sentence off, racing?
No, it doesn't have any effect on me. Like, I don't really see anything negative towards it. Like, you're good for a girl or anything. Like, I don't know. Maybe they didn't mean it that way. So it really doesn't have like any effect on me.
But I mean, is that how you've always felt, or in the
No.
beginning where you kind of...
In the beginning, yeah, I kind of like didn't like it. But, you know, you get used to it and you realize people say without realizing.
Yeah.
So I just got used to it, and you know, and I would answer like as a whole, like as a driver. Yeah.
And do you feel like it's really important to kind of be represented as a driver and
Yeah.
not have the male or female part
Yeah, I
have
mean,
anything to do with it?
yeah, exactly. Like as a driver, you know, when you're on track, you're based on your number and not on your gender or where you're from or anything. You're based on your race number. So it doesn't really matter, male or female. You're a driver. So that's what you stand for, basically.
That's, I mean, I kind of think as well, as you get older, I mean, I might be wrong because I have no idea other than jumping up and down at the F1 in Yas Island, watching what goes on behind the scenes. But does it get better as people get older, or as you're younger and a child, you know, when your kids racing kind of thing, does it get better, the whole treatment of being a female, or does it get worse? Because some of these things can turn into kind of boys clubs and men's, you know, clubs. Did it get easier or worse, you find, with the male drivers?
Honestly, like throughout my racing, even like in karting, was very difficult to even get within the pace. As I got in the pace, it was also difficult going from one championship to another, going to Europe. They have never seen like an Arab driver in Europe, and female as well. So like I would get underestimated a lot, and it was hard to fight for positions. But then, you know, you just have to give them like that proof that you deserve to be racing. You deserve to be in that championship and get that position, and then, you know, you'd get respect.
Yeah, one thing that I only found out very recently was that it's mixed.
Yeah.
Like I never knew that until, I started, doing some research about you
Hmm.
and stuff. I thought it was women's driving and men's driving.
No, it's mixed. Yeah, it's the whole championship, any race championship, it's all mixed. So
But even in F1.
F1, like they haven't gotten a female driver since like 50 years.
Okay. So it
So
has happened before where there's been a female
yes, yeah,
in the F1.
yeah,
Because I've never heard of a female driver in F1.
yeah. There was like 50 years ago. So
Okay.
yeah, people are trying to build drivers. Female drivers are also trying to compete to get to that level, but it requires a lot of time on track, a lot of experience, and the budget as well to reach that level.
Because it's very expensive, right? It's like
Yeah,
becoming a pilot.
yeah.
It's not an easy thing to do. Like you have
Yeah.
to have some good money behind you.
Yeah. You need a lot of sponsors,
Mm.
or like if it, let's say a manufacturing team wants you there, then that's also a good thing. But yeah, it requires a lot of money put in to reach that level.
So, I mean, up until I think Formula One, you don't get paid, right? You actually pay to.
It depends. Like some drivers get paid to reach to drive for a team, and some drivers pay to get in the team. So it's mixed.
How does that work? I mean, why would you pay to get into a team? Shouldn't it be the other way around? It's like somebody paying to play football for. Actually, yeah, I'd pay to play for Man United if I had the money. To be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's a dream to be in F1, to be a part of like the top tier team. So like anyone who has the money who would do it would actually do it.
So how? Because I think everything's different when it comes to F1, right? It's a whole different animal.
Yeah.
Like going up all the way F2, and then like all the rules change as well in F1.
Yeah, I mean, you're now in a manufacturing team, so every team has their own engine, their own concept of a car. So yeah, everything's different.
But I mean, is there regulations or
Yeah.
like is it like you can't come there in a car with giant wings that takes up like space and
Yeah, it's like within regulations, but you can do whatever you want, but it just has to stick to those regulations.
so depending on who has the biggest backer can kind of build the best engine.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Mercedes, Ferrari. Yeah.
So I mean, how do they stop it from some very rich person just being going, okay, I will put everything. I don't know why I made him Arab, but he's Arab for now. I will put everything in Mercedes, and you build
Yeah.
me the fastest, most best engine. Is there like
Like for a driver, they have this new thing. Well, it came out like a few years ago. A race license, you need points. So depending on any championship you attend, you need to reach specific points, race points. And if you reach those race points, then you can be a Formula One driver.
oh, so you have to literally earn your stripes, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You can't. So how? I mean, that's from 2 to 1 or all the way
From
through.
Top 10.
No, I mean Formula 2 to Formula 1. You have to have a certain amount of points. I mean, what
It's-
about the rest of them? Formula 2, Formula 3, Formula 4. Do you have to have?
Yeah. From
points?
Formula 4 to Formula 2, or any GT racing, you need to get those points.
So right now, like you couldn't technically go to Formula 2 until you've reached those points.
No, you can go to Formula 2.
You can.
Yeah.
Without, and how do you do that? You just decide I'm just going to start racing Formula 2.
Yeah, you need the budget.
Yeah, it's all money,
Yeah,
right?
all money.
So technically, could you go to Formula 1 without? I mean, could you skip Formula 4 and go straight to Formula 1 if you had a backer who was gonna?
Even if you had a backer, you still need points. Like you need to compete in championships to get points, top 10,
Yeah.
and then you can eventually reach that level of Formula 1.
Yeah, because I guess technically they don't want some rich kid of someone just going on the lap.
Yeah.
And these guys are all very experienced drivers,
Yeah.
and he's done like 1 or 2 championships, and he could be good, but nowhere near good enough. He can cause accidents and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that, right?
Yeah, that's why like the FIA decided to release the points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you? No, I'm gonna go back before that. Who were your inspos growing up when it comes to racing?
My dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Biggest inspiration.
So it wasn't any race car drivers outside of the. You didn't look at any of them and think,
I mean, I look up to a few F1 drivers. I look up to even my sister. She's a racing driver as well. So like within the family, I mean, I live with them and I see their like their daily routines, and
Mm.
they're always gymming in the simulator. So I always look up to them, like how dedicated and committed they are to like reaching, before a race weekend. So yeah, I mean, I use them as inspiration.
Yeah, I mean, it must be amazing to be able to reach inspiration so close to home, kind of thing, that you don't actually have to look that
Exactly.
far
Yeah.
to find it.
Yeah. Like I don't have to look at interviews or search up what do they do. Like I actually see them
You're just in
doing
the
it.
kitchen talking to your dad, just having a conversation about
Yeah,
it.
like tell me your secrets.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Dodgy question here. Let's see if you can. Who's the best driver in your family?
Ooh. I mean, I would say we are all the best in our
You
own.
can say me. You can say it. You can say it. Don't worry. I'll edit it out. Don't edit it out. I got it. But between me and you, no one else is watching. Who is the best driver in your family? And why? And why?
My dad.
That is a cop out. I feel like you're just.
He can find me sponsors.
Yeah. It's true. He can find you sponsors, and he can slow your car down as well when you're driving home. You'll be like, the longest drive home now. Just put it at 20 miles an hour. You just be like, think about what you said.
No, but actually, like for real, I would say it's my dad. Like, he's so committed to every race weekend he's been to. Like the amount of sleep, what he eats, his gym routine, everything, like from A to Z. Like I wouldn't say it would be me or my sister. I would say it's him, and we learned that from him. So yeah, it's my dad.
And what is his? I'm gonna come across like I know what I'm talking about, but people have different driving styles, right? So what about your dad? Would you say is it about his specific driving style or everything together that we were talking about just now?
Everything. Like me and my dad, we have similar driving style. We're very aggressive on
Just
track.
angry driving.
Yeah, we're just super aggressive on track. But my sister is very smooth and she takes it very lightly. So yeah, if we combine that together, we'd be like the best
ultimate
driver.
racer.
Yeah.
When you combine that, I will sponsor the race when you get it. But explain that to me, because like, whenever I have athletes and stuff like that, I just like to kind of learn as much as possible. What does aggressive mean and what does smooth mean?
So like aggressive is you take everything super quick, you slam the brakes too late, like braking points you go too late, you're on the gas too early, like everything's like based on instinct basically, like everything is how you feel beyond, like within the car's limit. And a smooth driver is, taking things slowly.
By the rules,
Yeah.
and just like, I'm supposed to be at this
Yeah.
rev by this time.
Yeah,
so
and
I
like
will.
driving like the steering wheel super smooth. So it's a good technique as well. And as for me, I just
You're like,
yeah. So yeah.
Has it ever come off during the race? Because I see them take the steering wheel off and walk away. And I'm like, what the hell's going on there?
You press like something that can
Okay, so
take
it's
it
not
off.
like a
Yeah,
you're
no,
not
no,
like
no.
driving it. You're just like the
I
car's
actually
going that way.
I thought of that many times when I'm on
Yeah.
track, like imagining like it comes
just
off.
comes off.
Yeah, it's
So how do you deal with? And I don't know if this is a conversation that your dad's had with you before, or you guys have had as a family. As much as it's exciting, it's fast, it's cool, it is also a very dangerous sport. Many drivers have passed away from crashes and stuff like that, and you're going pretty fast, even if it's F2, F3. I mean, what's the top speed that you go in F3?
270, 280 kilometers.
Kilometers.
Like that's the top speed we reached in like long straights. Yeah.
270. See, to me, that's scary, because touch all the wood I can. If somebody hits something at 270, it's like the car's made out of paper, right?
Yeah, it's carbon fiber, but you have all the racing gear on, and tracks, they have runoffs and they have like barriers that absorbs the impact. So it's actually like really safe. And you have people like marshals, they're always there to like help out the driver get out of the car. They have fire extinguishers in case the car like catches on fire. So like in a way, it's also like safer than driving down the road. Like you have seat belts that literally like keep you close to the seat.
Yeah.
So it's
So
really
there's no-
tight. You
yeah.
can't really move. Even if you flip, like you can't really move from the car like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
So it's, in like my opinion, it's much safer than driving down the road.
So there is no fear when it comes to, you don't have that in your head that this is the ultimate danger when I'm driving this fast.
Actually, no. Like, you know, the safety regulations, they improve every single year. There's new concepts to making the car much safer for the driver. So like they introduced the halo in F1, and they slowly brought it down to F3, F2, and like F4 now. They have it this year.
What's the halo?
So you know the thing that's on top of the driver?
From the back of his head?
It's on the car.
Okay.
Yeah. It's new, and it basically protects the driver from flipping or anything coming to the car. So it's or if like there was a crash and a car went like on top, you know, it's safe.
So just like a dune buggy kind of
yeah, exactly.
thing.
Yes.
The what's it called? The roll
cage.
roll cage.
Yeah.
Know what I'm talking about. I know a lot about cars.
Basically,
yeah.
But yeah, they call it a halo because it's like a halo.
Because I've seen a few of these crashes, and the car looks like it looks like it's made out of paper. The thing's flying upside down and spinning around and all that stuff, and it's very scary. And I was wondering, but then again, I was wondering if your father ever kind of worried about that stuff with you guys being younger, but then him being the driver, right, and him that being his thing. I think he knew all of the safety stuff, right? So it kind of, I'm guessing it didn't bother him.
Yeah, he knows, like, every driver on track, they know their limits. They know how to, like, avoid crashes, because, to fix a car, sometimes you cannot get away with it, and you have to pay a lot of money. Even if it includes insurance, it costs a lot of money to fix a car. So I had actually a few crashes, like, really bad ones. But I came out in one
no
piece.
Injuries, nothing.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Just emotionally because of the car, you're just like, oh
man,
that hurt.
Like, big time.
Because you had a car, right? And recently.
Yeah, recently I had a really bad crash, and the car was completely gone.
Khalas.
Like, I needed a new car, and it was really bad. Yeah.
That must have been heartbreaking for you.
I was crying, and my dad's like, he thought I had like an issue or an injury or something.
What's wrong with you?
Like, no, I need a new
car.
car.
The car.
It's gone. I'm done for the championship.
Maybe tomorrow for the memorial service for the car, we're gonna just put the halo in the grass.
Yeah, and I was like, please, I really want to race. He's like, you want to race? That's fine. I'll get a new car for you. Like,
nice.
Like, not buy one, but like rent one from Italy. They brought one.
Wow, and they brought it there.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Is it different having your own car and being in a rented car? Is it kind of like, because are they all the same shape, all the same everything?
They're all the same, yeah.
So there's no difference in.
Yeah, no, there's.
You don't feel like you have your dice hanging from the mirror, kind of things. Like, this is mine. Has my smell in it. It has.
It's just like the engine. Like the engine that I had was way better, in my opinion. Like, I could notice, like, it was much better. But, getting a rented car, you're either lucky that the engine is working fine, or you have a lot of problems. And when I had the new car, I had a lot of issues with the engine. Many times I had to stop and retire, or like there's technical problems here and there. So yeah, it was.
But I mean, shouldn't they check that stuff before they? rent you the car?
We tested and practiced and everything, but like anything can happen. And like these cars that we were using in the championship, they're unreliable. Like anything can just, especially the wiring, they can just break down in seconds. So yeah, it was.
Yeah, I don't think people understand the intricacies of these cars, of how many moving parts there are to kind of make them work, and especially when you get to F1. Like, it's crazy.
All those, technology and data and, the wires and like new concepts brought into the F1 car. Like Mercedes, they had, with the white line, it could tell, like, it could move it back.
Really?
Yeah. So they introduced that in F1.
Is that not classed as cheating, or?
No, not really. I mean, it's a technology thing. I mean, if the other teams thought about
if they want to get it, then they pay some money.
They should do it.
Yeah, it seems like everything in the sport is, hey, look, money, and you get everything you want.
Money talks.
Yeah. Is there a lot of politics in racing?
Yeah, in a way there is. No, actually, they don't involve politics in racing. Like, it's not supposed to be a part of the community, but sometimes, like, if it has to happen, then like in certain topics.
So what would you say has been your best race so far?
My best race, I have two.
Okay.
So it was an F4 in 2019 when I won my first race in Formula 4. And it was during the F1 weekend. So I
Wow.
get to step
What
on
a
the F1.
time.
I get to step on the F1 podium. It's like amazing, like the most amazing feeling ever. And then my second one was in F3 where I got top 10. So I got my first points in Formula 3. And it was like a really tough championship, like super tough. So that was also like my best race weekend.
And how often are these races going on? Because I'd like to kind of know the whole career side of it.
So there's like different championships, like Formula 3 Asia. It happens between January and February, and it happens here in the UAE. So they do it Yas Marina in Dubai, and they saw it very successful. So they kept on doing it here. And then there is the European Championships. So there's multiple ones. There is Formula 3, like they call it GP3 British. There is FIA Formula 3, which is sometimes with F1, sometimes not, but it's all over Europe. There is the Formula 3 Regional, which my sister is competing right now. So there's different topics, but there's like, steps.
Is your sister older or younger? Who's
Younger.
been doing it longer?
Me.
You've been doing it younger.
Yeah.
Nice. And how if you don't have a sponsor for that race, or do you get sponsored per race, or per championship, or is it kind of like we're your sponsors now for the next year?
Yeah, it's like per championship. So if you're lucky, you get to join, the championship based on your sponsorship. But I mentioned like before, my sister went earlier and she had her sponsors, and for me, I had my sponsors who would sponsor me. But last minute they pulled out, and it was the worst feeling ever. Like I only got over it like a month or two later. Like
Wow.
It was the worst feeling ever. Yeah.
Why was it that kind of feeling? Was it all the prep, or was it the case of missing out on?
Yeah, it was like all the preparations. Like the team prepared everything, like the car, the mechanic, the engineer, everything was like all prepared. And literally like a day before my flight, I realized like they pulled out, and it was just
Can they do that? Don't they have a contract where they have to kind of give you more notice than that?
Yeah, we did sign a contract and everything, and then they just pulled out. And so yeah, we had to get everything sorted based within the contract.
Yeah. And then you missed that championship.
Yeah, it's now starting. Like they finished 2 races already. So if I do get a sponsor within like the championship time and I have the chance to compete in one of the races, I would do it for sure.
So because we were mentioning this before, you could go in halfway and continue to race, but you'd never be able to actually win the tournament because you hadn't started from the beginning, right?
Yeah, I mean, like it's a 45 grid driver, and people are competing for the championship already. People are getting points, and you can't really fight for the championship. Yeah.
So essentially, you just be doing it to kind of up your points.
Yeah, it's just like if you want to get experience, if you want to, get more knowledge of the tracks, it's good, and get more prepared for the next season.
So what changes between between F4 and F3? What changes? What are the major changes that you notice?
I mean, it's not a big difference. It's just, it's much heavier, and
the car.
Yeah, it's much heavier and there's more speed. But other than that, I see like there's more downforce as well. But other than that, it's similar in a way.
And how far away are you now from going from F3 to F2? I mean, you've got until Monday to get to F1, as we agreed at the beginning of the episode. But I mean,
yeah, I mean, it depends. Like if there's like a lot of sponsors who could sponsor me, and if I get good results as well, that could attract sponsors that could take me to F2.
And when we say sponsors, typically, what is a sponsor paying to sponsor a driver for a tournament or a championship?
They get their logo on the car, on the suit. There's a lot of media exposure. There's a lot of photography, like fans. They take pictures with the car. So like there's a lot of that included, and with the driver, they get to have the driver for events, and the driver gets to mention the sponsors in any event, any interview. They wear apparels that has the sponsor's logo on it. So like there's a lot of advantages for a sponsor, and they get to request what they want.
But how much are they paying for that? Is that like a secret, or
I mean, you know, it
like
could,
a rough, like I'm just trying to figure out like, is it one sponsor that you get, or multiple sponsors?
yeah, it depends. Like depending on
Is there
the
like
company.
is there's like, look, I need $1 million, whether 10 of you give it to me or one of you gives it to me? It's like,
it's roughly like around 800,000 euros and more, and like more.
wow.
Yeah.
So it can't be that easy to kind of
No,
get
not
sponsors.
at all. Yeah,
Huh?
it's really like hard. Like no matter who you are, like it's so difficult to get that opportunity. But you know, social media plays a huge role. So like if you're well known, a company will want to work with you.
Yeah.
So if that company is willing to like put their money and they believe in you and everything to put you back to racing, then it's like a party for me. Yeah.
Look, I want my logo on the car. I have no money, but we're Arabs. Let's do a little barter, okay? I will give you 7 dates and 2 bags of rice.
Listen, you give
If
me.
you can put the logo on there,
I'll give you my Ferrari.
you know, just give me, just put it on the side there, whatever.
Yeah.
So, how do you prepare mentally for? I'm talking about minutes before a race. Is there anything special that you do? Is there anything that you kind of helps you get in your zone or that kind of thing?
Yeah, like I listen to music and I do my warm up. I prefer to be alone.
What's a warm up?
So like any warm up, you know, we have like stretching, jumping jacks, and
Oh,
get
so
the body,
actual warm up.
actual warm, yeah.
I thought the racing one would be kind of like, because have you seen do you know the bobsled?
No.
So the bobsleigh is it's like this long kind of tube car with no wheels. They do it in like the Winter Olympics. So they have the ice track that goes round like this, and then the 5 guys they push it in the beginning, and then they all jump in it, and they literally just like sit behind each other in a row, and it's going super fast, and they all kind of like turn left together when it's right, and left like that, and there's a little kind of lever. So I was thinking, because of the really sharp turns that you guys kind of, because they memorize the track, right? Because if they don't, that thing's going to flip over. If one of them's turning left like this, while the other one, all of them are turning right, it's gonna flip it. Do you ever like study a track to the point that it's okay? I know there's a S coming now. I know there's a left now. I know there's 3 rights coming after this. Wait, no, there's no left. But you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Like we do track walks and we do practice before the race weekend. So like there's already a schedule set out for drivers, you know, to get to know the track if they haven't been to the track before. So yeah, there is that. We have onboards. We watch like onboards of our teammates' fastest lap, and we watch that. We have our references. So it's all sorted.
But you don't memorize the tracks.
No, we do. We memorize, like the track is already memorized. Like after
Because you've done it
5
so many
laps,
times.
6 laps, you know, you already know what's coming next. So it's not a surprise. So yeah, we already like memorize the tracks based on experience.
Do you feel like Yas is your track?
I love Yas Marina. It's my favorite racetrack. Like ever since I won the F4 race, like that's it. I love Yas Marina.
Do you feel like there's a certain amount of pressure when you're, I mean, being an Emirati, being on your home, you're on the home pitch. Like, you know what I mean? Do you feel like, oh no, you're not beating me on this track today?
I mean, like I sometimes do have that, but at the same time, I'm competing with like competitors who've been racing for all their life, like every summer, every winter. So I know for a fact it's gonna be difficult. So I put that in my mind, like, okay, they know the track better than me. I would take like that information to use. Like I stay behind them and I see where they're braking, where they're turning, where they're going on the gas. So
what do you do for reflex training?
So we have like these balls.
Yeah, because I've got like 15 tennis balls here.
Yeah.
I've just like every now and then I'm going to throw one at you randomly and see if you catch it and stuff.
Yeah, we have these tennis balls, and like we put our hands behind our back, and like our coach would like let go.
Drop it and you have to.
Yeah, sometimes he let goes like at the same time, like we're unexpected. Like we're not expecting it. So he did that to me many times. I'm like, I don't expect you to drop both. Like you need to focus.
And how often do you do that? And how much do you think that actually helps with your reaction time? Because your reaction times, I mean, look, I drive pretty fast down Sheikh Zayed Road. I know where all the cameras are. So there's some parts of Sheikh Zayed where I'm doing a pretty good job. But how fast is your reaction time? Because you got to worry about not just the track and your turns, but there are other people going super fast next to you. And if one of them comes a bit too close or...
Yeah, you need to focus. Like, it's very hard to tell. It's like racing is unpredictable. Like, anything can happen. So you really have to, like, look ahead. So to know what's going to happen, what's going on. But at the same time, like, it's hard because you're very low and there's a lot of cars. So one mistake could really, like, put you in a really bad position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This whole low thing, I was talking to you about it before. If someone said to me now, and this is no word of a lie, people are going to say, no, this is not true. But if someone said to me, you can have a Ferrari or a brand new Nissan Patrol, I would always go for the Patrol. I just don't like low cars. I feel really weird and awkward.
Yeah.
Maybe because I'm like 5'2" and I want to feel big in my Patrol driving the street. But it's a really weird feeling being that close. My brother's the opposite. He loves sports cars, but I don't feel comfortable.
Yeah, you get used to, like,
that low.
Being, yeah. I mean, it's also like, I don't know. I like low cars, like supercars. I really like them. I feel it's the same for me, like F4, F3 and the low car. It's basically the same. I'm used to it. But like if I had like a Cadillac, I would just see everything. I feel like, the boss on the road. So
yeah, that's how I get my respect on the roads. Just a Nissan Patrol with flashing lights down. So then everyone's like, yep, I'll move out the way. It's cool. So how do you focus during a race? Is there anything specific that you do?
For me, like, I listen to music. I go through like my notes about the track.
While you're racing?
We have like a small track map on our steering wheel, and like I have my engineer. He comes with like the track map before we start, and he like I revise through it, and then he would take it away, and like I would keep going through it in my head, memorize like all the corners I need to fix and improve. So
you get that. What about, this is really interesting to me. I never understood pit stops.
We don't have that in F3.
You don't have that.
I mean, in case like you have like an issue, like your front wing came off, or if you had a puncture, you can use like the pit stop. But what's the difference? Is it because the wheels are going so much faster that the tires burn in F1 that they have to literally just change the tires? Yeah, if they change tires, like you get faster, like because the rubber is still there. But then depending on how many laps in the tire compound, you could lose rubber and you would be like 5 seconds slower.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
It can make that much difference,
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
And what about driving? Because that's another thing. The race goes on whether the conditions are good or bad, right? Mm-hmm. So have you ever been in conditions that were worrying, like a really bad rain, slippy track, and you're just like, this is not... Everyone's just like...
Yeah, I was in Formula 4 one time. It was raining like really heavily. A lot of rain. Like we could see like puddles. It became a swimming pool basically. Yeah. And they had to like cancel the race because it was that bad.
Just dangerous, right? At those kind of speeds as well.
Yeah, I mean, like driving in the rain, it's fun in a way. But like at the same time, like if there's too much rain, like a driver needs to know how to brake, you need to be extra careful with the car. So
that's where your aggressive driving doesn't work. That's why you need just the smooth driving, right?
Yeah. That's why in the rain it really helps a driver. So if you're smooth, it's easier.
Okay, and you're not allowed to answer this by saying my dad. Best driver ever. Formula 1. In
Formula 1?
And why?
I would say Charles Leclerc.
Okay.
I mean, he's always been super fast on track. He's dominating now in F1, and I really liked him as a driver. Like in F2 he was dominating and always winning, and he's super talented and he's committed to what he does. So I would say Charles. Yeah.
I mean, most people would be like Hamilton.
The very well-known answer. I mean, he's a 7-time world champion, so like I wouldn't blame them to say Hamilton. But I look at a driver based on their experience. And I know Lewis also had a really rough experience as a youngster from karting. So, I mean, every driver is different. Yeah.
Did you ever hear of Nigel Mansell?
No.
Okay. Ask your dad about Nigel Mansell. He was a British driver, and his moustache was bigger than this mic. I don't know how they didn't. He just had the biggest moustache, but he was amazing, dude. He used to win everything.
Oh wow!
You have to check him out. He was a really cool driver.
Oh,
so how far back do you go? Do you go back to the Ayrton Sennas and the?
I mean, yeah, Ayrton Senna is still a legend.
I don't know why I made him Elton John. Yeah,
Elton John. I mean, Ayrton Senna has been a legend ever since. You know, he's every F1 driver's favorite driver, I guess. I mean, he's a legendary man, and it was quite like a sad thing that he passed away very recently because of a crash. I mean, it's something small also, like it was a rock that went through.
This is what I was talking about. Now look, somebody with the experience of not Elton, but Elton, a rock was the end of his career. Like, does that not scare you when you're doing your driving, or is it kind of like, well, I'm not going to think about that obviously because then I would never drive?
I mean, if it happens, it happens, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's much safer on track than it is on the road, like in my opinion, of course. So you have all the gear, you have a helmet, you have fireproof clothes, clothes, and you have the undergarments that are also fireproof. So it's really safe.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, you look at people like Schumacher as well, right? Did the craziest driving, crazy speeds, and then on a skiing trip, just
anything can happen. Basically, like any sport could be dangerous in its own way. Yeah.
So, who is Amna outside of racing?
Oh, outside. I'm very reserved.
Okay.
I talk a lot sometimes. I mean, it depends on the subject. Like, I could be very passionate about something, and sometimes I'm like really quiet.
But what are you passionate about that's not racing?
I would say like anything. Like, it could be from jet skiing or, you know, extreme sports. Like, I like to try different things here and there. I'm super crazy about dune bashing. I love that. It's my favorite, like rally, I guess, at the same time. So it could be
only if you have your own car. Like if you go to one of these monster experiences, they'll be like, don't go fast and stay in a line. And every time we go there, they have a nervous breakdown because like we just, as soon as they say go, we just go in 18 different directions. And there's only two guys there who are in their cars. Like, which ones do we follow kind of thing? Like, let us have fun. Like we're literally dune bashing in the desert and you want us to go in a slow straight line behind each other. I'm not a tourist. I'm not here to see a falcon on the top of the thing and take a picture. I want to go.
I don't know. Like I think they're just scared like to deal with the consequences like after. So like based on their experience, like I tried that as well. Like when I had to film with Seek Discomfort and we had the same problem, and I was like, oh, this is so boring. Like we're going on the same track. Like you can see the tracks.
Yeah, literally.
On the desert. So we have our own. We have a Can-Am.
Nice. Can-Am's good.
Funny story. Like we were supposed to go find like a nice, perfect spot, and I was just going through Google Map like in LA and trying to find a good spot to dune bash where there's not a lot of people. And I was in a Cadillac, like our old Cadillac, and we just got stuck.
That's the worst.
And like, we like lost the entire day because I got stuck.
Was the Can-Am on the back?
Yeah.
You should have just left the Cadillac and just gone for a drive.
I don't know where we were. We were like in the middle of like farms and stuff, and I didn't know if it's allowed.
Yeah.
So it was, I ruined it for everyone.
Well, it happens, you know. If they want to do it, they get their own Can-Am and put it on the back of their car.
Yeah.
So how would your friends describe you?
Crazy. Very passionate, like about starting a business or something. Like I'm strong as a person, and I don't care what people think. So funny, I guess. So yeah.
Keep going. This is your time. You're getting your flowers. Keep going.
I would say like I have really good comebacks sometimes. I could be very mean. Like I would say it as a joke, but I
Yeah,
mean,
one of
at
those
the
ones
same
that
time.
really hurt. Where
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you say it as a joke, and the person's like, and then they're driving home, and they're like, "Oh no, she was being serious," and
Like
I
she's
am like
low-key
that. Yeah, yeah.
serious.
You just
Yeah.
hide it under a joke, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like me and my sister, we always have like these very like harsh comebacks, but we know we're joking.
Yeah.
So like in the end, we'll be like, "Listen, I'm joking. I'm not serious. There's nothing wrong with your nose.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
nothing wrong with your hair."
What are you trying to say about my nose? I just noticed you started talking about noses. I broke it a few times when I was younger. Okay, just the way it is. It's a very Arab nose. Okay.
Mine too. It's
Yeah.
a very Arab nose.
No, mine's like two Arabs' noses. So it's like two guys, like twins, just going on. So what? I mean, you were saying about the. I forgot what I was going to say before you insulted my nose just then. It was really important. No, we were talking about the dune buggying, and then I
What
had a
people
really
thought
good
about
point.
me.
That's it. Have you ever raced against your sister
Yeah.
in competition?
Yeah.
Okay, how does that go?
Oh man.
Explain that to me
We
now.
had like sometimes we're like very far apart. Like we have one car in between us. So she's ahead. There's one car. Then there's me. But one time I caught up to her, and I was overtaking her, and she pushed me off wide, and I got so mad at her.
As in put you out of the race.
Yeah, I told her like when I was like overtaking you, I gave you room, and when you overtook me, you basically pushed me
treated
out.
me like a stranger.
Yeah, I was like, "Where's the family
Yeah, yeah,
blood? Where is that?" And I was like, "You just disrespected me on track. Next time, I know what to do."
Yeah.
So yeah.
Next time you're racing, you're just like sending like WhatsApp messages like, "I'm coming. Look in your mirror, right there behind me. Yeah, that's me."
Yeah. I was like, next time, be careful. But like, no, I wouldn't really like go to the limit where I would like hurt her.
No. Well, I've got it
Yeah.
on camera now, so I can always send her this clip if anything.
I'm the.
Yeah.
Swear.
I'm the-
I promise.
You're gonna get wrong. But I actually saw a pretty cool thing where she got. I think it was in Yaz, where she got pushed off, and had a 5-second delay, but then she managed to get it back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was pretty.
She made
cool.
the gap.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
That's just. I mean, look, when you're in that situation, what are you gonna do, right?
Yeah, just continue driving.
You're just gonna continue and be like,
Yeah.
"Well, I've got nothing to lose now, so I'm just
Yeah.
gonna just give
Like, you could get lucky. So
it." Yeah.
yeah, she had like a 10-second penalty, and she had that 10-second gap
Yeah.
already. She's like, "Ha, I won."
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I mean, do you guys support each other when the other person's racing? Do you go and you?
Yeah, we do support each other a lot. Like we watch each other's races. Like when I was doing F4 in Italy back in 2018, she would watch my races and she would tell me like, "Oh, it's not your fault. I saw what happened." And she would tell me like, "You were really close, like timing wise with the guys up front, and you know you deserve to be up there." But yeah, I mean, we do really support each other a lot. Yeah.
And I think that's pretty amazing as well. The amount of support that your father's put into to all of you guys as well.
Yeah, a lot of support, and you know he always like pushes us and motivates us to like go to the gym, and you have a race, and like you're doing well and you deserve to be there. Like he's really supportive in what we do.
Do you feel like we've passed that stage in our culture now where he would get slack for that? Did he get any slack for that? Whereas like, why are your daughters racing around the place instead of whatever?
I mean, he doesn't tell me like if somebody said anything, but I would get comments like from really old people, like old men or women, or I don't know.
Yeah, like you were on a horse and cart
Yeah.
when like yeah.
Yeah, like oh, you know, she's not supposed to be racing. It's a men's world. Like why would she put herself in this position? Like it's a disgrace. It's shameful. But I don't look into it. Like, you know, grow up. I mean,
they're 90 already, so they're
yeah,
not gonna be too
people
much
are like
growing up. And
like I'm surprised. Like I even see like women like they would say like they would talk about equality and like we need this, we need that, and the next thing you know, why are you racing? It's for men. Like I would get surprised, but you know it's fine. Like people say what they want to say. It's not gonna affect me in any way. It's not like I'm gonna stop. Like I enjoy doing it, and like if people support me, then like I'm really happy and I appreciate it and I see it. And people who don't, like it's fine.
It's like, where do you draw the line for equality? It's like, is it equality or is it not? Like, is it just for certain things and then not for other things? And I can imagine coming from the Arab background, pardon me, that you, as far as I hate to say it, I feel like us as Arabs are haters when it comes to ourselves. It's like we will support and push the English and the foreigners and all that stuff. But when it's our own people, we're like, la 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 la, haram wallah, and this and people shouldn't dance and do you know what I mean? And it's just
Yeah.
like, but you'll support Beyonce and all that stuff, but the second you have
A local.
you know,
Yeah.
it's like, no, it's not for us. Well, it's fine, but it's not for us, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, like now, like the new generation, they're very supportive. Some other people, like I have family members who are also supportive. So I have the government, you know, they were also very supportive, and they gave us the sponsorship as well before. So like, it really depends, like in the community. Like sometimes people are like so envious, like she's doing this and I'm not, and I'm sitting on a couch and I'm just watching this happen. Like I don't like it.
I think that's the problem.
Yeah, but I also have like foreigners who also talk about like, oh, she's racing because she has the money. They see, like, once they see a person, they're Arab.
They're like, this is from Dubai. She's local, of course.
Oh,
Her
she
dad
has
pays
money,
for everything.
you know?
Yeah,
Her
yeah.
dad's a bank.
Yeah,
Her
yeah.
dad's a CEO. Like, it's so ridiculous. Like, people are not educated in the fact, like, if you come to Dubai and you see it, you will know, like, it's not that.
Yeah.
People work. People, like, money doesn't grow on trees.
No, people that came to Dubai. Do you know how many people I know that have said, I'm going to go to Dubai for 2 years. I'm going to work and save all the money and then go back to the UK. And then like 10 years later, they're like, I still haven't saved anything. Like, do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, once you come here, you just spend. Like, it's basically like, there's so many nice things to see. And, like, you just want to spend. There's so many nice things to try, to eat. You just spend. I'm in that like situation. Like, I love food. Any restaurant I go to, I just spend. So, yeah.
And they don't see all the stuff that comes behind the scenes, right? Just you on the phone like, hello, Zata Rosette, would you want your logo? Your logo on my car? It's no problem, just $800,000 you can do.
Yeah, people have no idea, like behind the scenes, how hard I'm trying to find sponsors. Like, I'm putting myself out there. I'm sending in emails. I'm like doing meetings. I'm signing contracts with agencies to find me like sponsors. Like, nobody knows how difficult it is. It actually is. Like, the reality of it. They just see like she's driving and then, oh, she has the money. So yeah, people don't realize how hard it is.
And social media doesn't help that either, because and it's not your fault, and it's not whoever's involved in social media, but people tend to only post the good stuff. So they'll see a Ferrari, they'll see the picture with the helmet, they'll see all the sponsors on your stuff, but they won't see you upset for 2 months for not getting that sponsor that's, you know, was going to send you to the last race. So they just don't see the side of it, and they don't realize how much goes with it. So they just see the picture, they'll be like, oh well, look, she's standing next to a Ferrari, so she obviously has the money to sponsor herself. And
it's just people don't realize how, like, I don't think I deserved like to give them an explanation. Like, I feel like it's better to keep things the way it is and not talk about it, because then it could create a lot of drama and a lot of, you know, attention, and, you know, how people say right now, pick me girl. So yeah, I just don't want to get myself into that situation. Like, if anybody asks, I would tell them that answer, but I wouldn't really put it on social media.
So if you weren't racing, what would you be doing?
I would be doing, if I went.
If you weren't racing.
I would maybe do anything that's involved in sports. Like, I used to be doing gymnastics, like, before I got into racing. So I would have, like, I don't know, I wanted to go to the Olympics. So I would have been maybe training or maybe trying to get to that level. Or, you know, be a coach in gymnastics or something, yeah.
So if now, I mean, we all went through this very recently with the pandemic, where a lot of people had to reevaluate everything about what they're doing in life. Like, even myself, you know, I was a celebrity personal trainer and all that stuff, and they were like, "Hala akhuya, bukra is done. No going out, curfew, no gyms, no training people, no going to their houses." And do you know what I mean? So if racing was now out of the question, not what would you have been doing if you didn't turn to racing, but if now racing was out of the question, where do you think that you would look first for happiness, for the pleasure, for for that? I mean, would you still be thinking about gymnastics and these things, or would it be something
No,
else?
actually, no. Like, I have always wanted to be like an entrepreneur, like my dad. I mean, we have it in our blood. So, like, we love to think of like new ideas of starting a business, working. I've always wanted to, since I was young, I told my dad, I want to be my own boss. I don't want to work for anyone. So, yeah, I've always had that idea to always, start a business that actually has like something to do with giving back to the community, making something better. So, yeah, I've always had that like same concept as my dad.
I guess just growing up around that and seeing your dad. I mean, it seems like he was a huge inspiration for you all in many different aspects
Yeah, like,
of life. How important has your father been to everything that you're doing?
oh yeah, he's like he would tick all the boxes. I mean, he in education, like he was in Boston University and he's been trying so hard, to get a business degree in like 2 years. And work-wise, we had nothing. We started from nothing, and he built himself to where he is now. So like people would say, she's been growing up with a silver spoon, fed in a silver spoon. I don't know what that phrase is, but that's not the reality of it. Like, we stayed in an apartment in the US. We didn't have much money, and from there we started to grow. He started to work and work and work till he got where he is now.
I mean, he has his own inspirational story himself.
Yeah,
I need to get him on for an episode
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
you
We'll
should.
do it,
Like,
yeah.
he's so inspiring, and he has like the funniest stories. Like, you should get my dad one time.
No, I will for sure. So where do we go from here?
Where?
I mean, obviously to the car and back to Abu Dhabi, but I mean, where does Amna go from here? What do you see in your future? Have you planned it out in a sense of, okay, I want to be in F2 or F1 within this time space, or I mean, because you've decided racing is your career, right?
Racing is always like something I've always wanted to be a part of, but like if I had any opportunity, whether it is in GT or Formula E or something, I would take it. At the same time, like for now it's unpredictable. I'm just focusing on my studies till I like get good news. So studies, and I'm launching my merch in 2
Nice.
days. So
What kind of match is it?
hoodies, shirts, hats. Like, this is the beginning.
Send them my way. We were rocking them on the podcast.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, give me
sure.
that exposure, please.
Of course.
Yeah, so
I only want one outfit for every day of the year. I had this turn into me getting a sponsor from you. It's like, see, this is how you get sponsors. Take notes. Watch the track map of this episode. Okay. So, and then?
And then like find new ideas. Like every day I'm trying to find a new idea, and I talk to my dad about it, about like a business plan. And he would tell me his like opinion, whether it's a good idea or whether it's like too much work and too much effort and will take a while. So like every single day I have like this new idea, and I just go to my dad and I tell him, and he would tell me if it's like good enough or if it's like too much of a hassle. So
Just out of experience, he's just like, look,
Yeah.
I can already break this down to you. You're not gonna like this part. You're not gonna like that part.
Yeah. He always tells me like, this is good, this is not good, this is like, it's gonna actually make you lose than gain anything.
And you've got a really cool following on your socials as well. I mean, they're really involved in what you're doing. It's nice to see that they have that level of respect for you.
Yeah, I mean, they've always wanted to see me back racing in Europe as well. But, due to the consequences, it's very hard. I would love to please them as much as I can, but yeah, it's hard.
I think it's kind of crazy that it literally just depends on a sponsor or not, whether you do the next race.
Yeah.
It's really crazy, right?
Yeah, it's insane. Like, you're either lucky and fortunate to have like a really good backup, or, it's unpredictable for you. Yeah.
And is there no signing for teams? Like, I mean, I don't know how it works, but is there opportunity for a team to go, okay, look, we'll pay for the...
No,
not
that's
only when you get to...
Yeah, it's only in F1. Like in F4, F3, people pay to race.
Yeah. And what about, because I remember seeing you somewhere say that some people pay for a seat in F1.
Mm-hmm.
How much would that cost for someone to buy a seat in F1?
It's around like $20 million or more.
What?
Yeah,
To race?
to race. To like sign up for 1 year with a team.
20 million?
Yeah.
That's all? That's all
I
you
mean,
need?
it could be more depending on what team you want to be in.
Why you didn't tell me earlier? Let me get my checkbook out. And dude, that's like... That's insane that some people have that much money that's literally somebody's life, like, and their
Yeah.
family, and you know, a lifetime's worth
Yeah.
of money to just put for a year.
I mean, like, it depends. Like, sometimes F1, like, the teams, they stay with drivers for a really long time.
Mm.
So it doesn't really give an opportunity for the newcomers, or like who are in F2 and they've been competing for 5 years, 5, 6 years. So it's kind of unfair. So, like, if I see a driver that puts the money in and, like, dedicating their commitment and they deserve an F1 seat, then, like, they why not? I mean, they deserve it. So it's just, you know, the F1 teams, they're always sticking to the same drivers or signing a new driver from a different team. So it's not newcomers. It's always the same drivers who've been racing for like 15 years.
I mean, that happens a lot in sports as well, where, you know, the problem, like for example in football, a lot of the teams, their youth academies don't get built up properly, because instead of bringing them from the youth teams up to the reserves and the first team, they just go to Spain and buy players, and they buy, you know, the first teams,
Yeah.
and they just keep filling the first team with that. And it's like, well, what about all these
Youngsters,
youngsters that are good, and you end up sending them somewhere else? And it's like, well, you should be using them.
yeah. I mean, I've seen that a lot, especially like here. You know, it's important to build up a driver, but they see like, you know, it's not worth the time or the money, and until the driver, you know, gets support from somewhere else, and
That's
then they
when
reach to that level, then they're like, okay, we'll put our money in when it's not needed anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, no, but you represent us and we're this and that. And they'll play that card of, we were always there for you. And you're like, you weren't when I was looking for when I was looking for sponsors.
Yeah, it's very funny. Like when I wanted to do an interview with a specific company before to find sponsors for my F4 season, they refused. They were like, nah, we don't have time for you. Like, we don't want to. And then by the time like I am where I am now, they're like, can we do an interview? Like, nah, I don't need you anymore.
Yeah,
Like
exactly,
I
right?
don't need your exposure. Like, it's not as good as what I'm gonna get.
Good.
before-
Stand your
after.
ground, dude. Stand
Yeah.
your ground. I remember when I first started this, I asked if, because I've had many celebrities on here and you know, huge people. And I remember asking someone, I was like, hey, do you want to come on the show? And they were like, yeah, you know, because they saw it. I mean, it was fresh. It didn't have many followers and stuff. And I was thinking that day, I was like, there's going to come a day where you're going to want to come on here. And I'm going to be like, nope,
Mm-hmm.
no thanks. And it's not me being mean. It's just because, like, no, you don't get to not support when I need your help, you know, and show your true character, that you see something good in someone, and you don't mind getting involved during their growth. And then all of a sudden, when all your friends have been on and all that stuff, because this happened, and I've been like, nope, like literally just,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, you have to like stand your ground and, you know, stand up for yourself as well. Like, if they're not there in like the first half when you needed them, then
Yeah.
yeah, they don't deserve to be there after when you don't need them.
Yeah. So what I suggest is, when you are in Formula One and I ask you for the logo to be put on the car, then I think you should just do it. You just be like,
Yeah, no
just,
problem. I'll have it on my helmet.
yeah, which other, see, how many helmets do you have?
I have 4.
You want to get rid of one of them?
You want one?
Everyone signs their stuff and puts it on.
Yeah, sure.
Famous people, you know, lots of people. I like to keep memorabilia of people.
Yeah.
Can I get a signed helmet?
Yeah.
Don't play with my emotions, dude.
No, I actually can.
No, don't play with my emotions.
No, I'll sign it.
Don't
Oh,
say
no,
that.
It's my
and then-
karting.
But I'm not.
helmet.
Oh, a
Like
karting
my
helmet.
first one.
You can't give away your first one. That's the.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
I
ni-
don't
is
use
it-
it.
is
It's
it a
still
nice
there.
helmet?
It's just there. Yeah, it's really nice.
Boom. Gonna get a helmet on my shelf. Is there anything that you feel like we forgot to add?
I feel like we've covered up so many things.
We have, right?
Yeah.
Is there any message that you have for the young? And no, I'm not going to say for the young girls or for the young athletes and people who are, you know, wanting to try something.
Yeah, I would say like keep persisting, keep pushing. You know, life's unpredictable. always work on your goals, always have a plan B, and anything can happen. You could either be doing something, and if something bad happens, don't dwell on it. You need to like move on from it. As Jeff Bezos would say, if you're going through hell, keep going, don't stop in hell. So
yeah, it's true. I mean, it's like so many people, it's like that, that picture that you see on Instagram and stuff where the guy's digging for the diamonds, and then it's like there's just like one little bit of wall left and all the diamonds there, and he's just like, I forget this stone. He just turns around and walks away. And then the other guy just carrying. It's like, I think consistency and a lot of it is what you said. A lot of it is luck. Like, you never know. So many people have done so much just by being in the right place at the right time, or just choosing not to quit that day, giving it one more day or one more week and one more year.
Yeah, you should always, believe in yourself and keep pushing, and always envision and manifest. It's very important. Yeah. So, and you'll get there for sure. Like, for me, I mean, with my season not happening, I didn't like say, okay, it's over for me. Like, I keep working, I keep trying, and you'll get there eventually. It's all about putting that effort in. And yeah.
Dude, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on. And I commend you for everything that you've achieved now and everything that you're going to achieve in the future.
Thank you.
And, it's really inspiring not only to see your achievements and also your family's achievements, because having a father like that, being a father, that's like everything that I want to be in a father to my children, and to give them the opportunity to be themselves and to grow and take risks. And I think that's also something that a lot of people can learn from. Thank you so much for coming down.
No, of course. Thank you for having me.
We're going to do the F1 part 2 when you're in F1.
For sure, if I get there.
Why are you laughing for? I'm manifesting right now, okay? Can't you see all the purple around me? I'm doing the aura glow. Yeah, thank you so much for taking out the time and coming down here. Next episode, guys, you'll see a helmet there that's been signed by Amna that she's going to make me go all the way to Abu Dhabi to get, but still. Guys, thanks for watching. I've been AJ, she's been Amna, and we'll see you soon. Boom.